DeWanna Bonner just straight up dipped on the Indiana Fever like, gone. No warning, no goodbye, just vanished. And the timing? Super shady. Caitlin Clark comes back. Sophie Cunningham returns. And suddenly Bonner's out? Come on, she didn't just leave. She quit. And now she's about to slide into the Phoenix Mercury like nothing ever happened? For free? Not a single team wanted to trade for her. That's not bad luck, that's the whole league saying, nah, we good.
And the news broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed waived DeWanna Bonner. And here is DB's statement. She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young players."
Indiana gave her everything, her coach, her system, and she still bounced. Was this her plan all along? Did she just use the Fever as a layover to get back to Phoenix? Let's talk about how she finessed the whole league and left the Fever looking dumb.
But I knew something was going to happen, and the reason is because the longer she sits out for personal reasons, the longer she eats into the cap space for the Indiana Fever to figure out what their next move is. I mean, they could have looked for a trade for her. They might have been doing that to no avail, but their decision was to just wipe their hands of the situation, let it go, and waive DeWanna Bonner.
So let me get this straight. DeWanna Bonner just dipped, no press release, no final game moment. 1 minute she's part of this Indiana rebuild, the next, gone. Like, what? She just vanished on the Fever like it was an Uber ride she never planned to finish. And this wasn't just a random bench player. This was a 14-year vet, a multiple-time All-Star, someone they built the team around in the offseason. What makes it wild is the timing. Caitlin Clark comes back healthy. Sophie Cunningham re-enters the mix. And then Bonner suddenly packs up and disappears? That ain't just bad fit talk. That's pre-planned exit strategy vibes. Real talk, was this all just DeWanna using the Fever to stall until Phoenix had an open seat? Let's not pretend this was some casual signing. Indiana went all in on Bonner. Like, fully committed. Hired her former coach in Stephanie White. Handpicked Keith Porter as part of the staff. Gave her the same motion offense she ran in Connecticut, even though it wasn't working with this roster. That's how far they were willing to go to make her happy. They tailored the offense to her strengths and her comfort zone. They made her the veteran centerpiece next to Clark in Boston. And still she left. No injury, no scandal, no big fall off. She just said, "I'm out." You don't do that unless something's off. Either she never wanted to be there, or she knew Phoenix would wait for her. Would you call that a selfish move or just business? All right, here's where it gets even messier. After DeWanna left Indiana, she hit the waiver wire. Now normally, if a vet like that hits the market, teams scramble, at least somebody throws in a claim. But with DeWanna, dead silence. Not one team jumped at the chance. Not the Dream, not Liberty, not even Phoenix, the team she wanted to go to. You know what that means? Nobody wanted to trade for her. Not because of talent, but because of reputation. If you quit mid-season on a young, struggling team, how are you supposed to walk into a locker room and lead again? Would you want a vet on your squad who already proved she'll bounce when things get tough? While Bonner was ghosting, guess who quietly became the hero? Ari McDonald. She showed up on a hardship deal, barely even supposed to play, and outplayed half the rotation. 11 points per game. Lockdown defense, hustle, leadership, in just 3 games. She brought fire this team desperately needed. And get this, Ari couldn't be re-signed while Bonner was still on the roster. That spot was taken. So the second Bonner was gone, boom, Ari's back. It's almost poetic, right? The vet who didn't want to fight gets replaced by the grinder who's clawing her way in. Which one would you want in your foxhole going into a playoff race? Here's where the conspiracy theories start writing themselves. What if Phoenix didn't want to trade for Bonner because they knew she'd come for free? Think about it, they had the cap space. They could have swapped Sammy Whitcomb or cleared a deal with a bench piece, but they didn't. They waited. Bonner clears waivers, becomes a free agent, and signs for the vet minimum. Now the Mercury get a future Hall of Famer for nothing. Just walked in the front door with her bags packed. That's not luck, that's chess. Was this a smart front office move or a shady backdoor deal? All right, can we talk about DeWanna Bonner's thank you message for a second? Because, girl, what? She really hit us with the, "I want to thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity." Like she just wrapped up a lovely brunch and politely excused herself, not like she straight up bailed on a young team mid-season like a ghosted Tinder date. Come on now, we all saw what happened. You dipped, no warning, left a rookie-led team scrambling, and now you want to act like it was just a bad fit? Really? Let's be real, it wasn't a bad fit, it was a bad commitment. Indiana gave her the coach, gave her the system, gave her the ball. She gave them 14 games and a disappearing act. And then she slides over to Phoenix like nothing ever happened. Sis treated Indiana like a pit stop on a road trip to get back with her ex. Like, were we supposed to clap for that? Be honest, did DeWanna Bonner just pull the WNBA version of "I need space" before jumping into a better situation? Because if that ain't the biggest finesse of the season, I don't know what is. Stephanie White is supposed to be the grown-up in the room, a respected coach, a leader. She vouched for Bonner, pitched the whole motion offense for her. Let her take minutes from younger talent to build around the vet. Now, DeWanna bails and Stephanie's left holding the bag. And guess what? This isn't even the first veteran move that's backfired on her this season. Fans are already questioning her rotations, play calling, and chemistry building or lack of it. You can't keep saying, "We're rebuilding," and then tie your whole game plan to a vet who just quits. Should the Fever consider moving on from Coach White at this point? Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark is not in a great situation right now. She came into the league as the face of the WNBA. But instead of getting support, she's been pushed around, targeted, and now abandoned by the vet who was supposed to help guide her. DeWanna Bonner was supposed to be her mentor, her anchor, the one who keeps the locker room steady. Instead, she ghosted, and Clark is stuck with the fallout. It's like the team is building a house around her while the roof's collapsing at the same time. When does Clark finally get the real help she needs? Now let's take a step back. There's a bigger tension here, something you feel under the surface in every game. The WNBA has its own identity built by vets, by loyal fans, by a strong LGBTQ community that's kept it alive for decades. But Caitlin Clark brings a new wave mainstream attention, college fan energy, people who've never watched a WNBA game before. Some see that as a threat. Others see it as a lifeline. And players like DeWanna Bonner, maybe they see it as a culture shift they're not ready for. Can the WNBA handle this new wave of fans without tearing itself apart from the inside? So here we are. Indiana's without Bonner. Clark's fighting an uphill battle, and the team still looks miles away from being a contender. So what's next? They've got some cap space now. Maybe they go international. Maybe they sign a sleeper off the free agent pile. Or maybe they just ride this out and wait for the offseason. But whatever they do, one thing's clear. This season can't be wasted. Caitlin Clark is a generational star. You don't get many chances like this. Indiana has to start building the right foundation now. Who should the Fever target to replace Bonner? Let's wrap this up. DeWanna Bonner wanted out and she got her wish. She's with the Mercury now, probably smiling ear to ear. But here's what she left behind. A fractured locker room, a disappointed fan base, and a team that counted on her to lead. She got what she wanted. But did she burn a bridge on the way out? And let's not forget she's walking into a Mercury team with big expectations. If she doesn't show up with her A game, this whole thing could backfire real quick. So what do you think? Did DeWanna Bonner make a power move or just prove she's no longer built for leadership? If you're still here, you're a real one. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you want real talk on the WNBA.